How's it going, guys? My name is Trent and we're at the world's largest creative conference in Las Vegas, Adobe MAX. Now 12,000 people have gathered right here to see firsthand what new apps and features Adobe have rolled out in their latest Creative Cloud suite, including a very impressive onboard AI named Adobe Sensei. Let's have a look at what features are available for you to use right now.
Adobe Capture is a mobile application that takes anything your phone's camera can see and turns it into a usable design object. So if I go ahead and launch Capture, I've got vector shapes, I've got color themes that I've captured from the real world, I've got materials that I can wrap around 3D objects to make them look realistic, I've got infinitely repeatable patterns, and I've got brushes that I can use in my favorite mobile and desktop drawing applications. But the feature I'm the most excited about is actually type capture. So I have this postcard, and I don't know what this font is on the back of it, but I want to use this in one of my designs. Type capture can help out with that. So if I launch my camera, and I point it at this card and take a photo, and then I'm going to adjust the crop a little bit. With one click, this gets sent up to Creative Cloud. And what's happening is Capture is using Adobe Sensei technology to analyze the font and give me similar fonts. So I've got this illustration here, and I want to move the arm of this character by itself. And so, in the past, if I selected things and tried to move them, I'd get some kind of strange behavior going on. I've got a lot of overlapping complex vectors. Puppet Warp makes this really simple. If I select this illustration, and I select my Puppet Warp tool, I can add a pin to the shoulder, one to the elbow, and one to the hand. And that means certain parts of the illustration will move, and certain parts won't. So I can move the hand independently. I can move the hand and the elbow independently. It makes working in Illustrator so much simpler with complex illustrations.
So I'm going to kick off an image search here. I actually have an image that I want to use already. I have a cute little lemur, but I don't love that he has his back to us. He's a bit of a rude boy. So let's find a lemur with a different posture. And with Stock, I can actually use that image to search, which is great. So what's happening now is Stock is using Adobe Sensei technology to analyze that image, figure out it's a lemur, and return back a bunch of lemurs, as expected. But of course, we want to find just the right lemur. So let's filter this down. So you can filter exactly how you would expect. You can go by category, by orientation of image, but I'm really excited about these two new features that the team has added. The first is the depth of field and the vivid color, and both of these also use Adobe Sensei. So you'll see here now, if I turn up the depth of field, we're going to get a lot of lemurs that are sharp in the foreground and blurry backgrounds, which is awesome. First new feature in Sketch is that you can now use all of your Photoshop brushes here in Sketch. So you'll see here, I'm really jazzed about Kyle Webster's drawing brush. It's really great. I have hundreds of brushes, and I can take them all with me. With one tap, I can create a time lapse from this drawing. What's really awesome about this is that I don't have to download any software. I don't have to set up any cameras. I don't even have to know that I wanted to create a time lapse to begin with. With just one click, I can make this video. Sketch has been recording all of my brush strokes, so I don't have to do anything. And I can decide, after I like the image, to create a video that I can easily share to social media or anywhere else that takes a movie file.
Adobe XD, this is our new all-in-one solution that lets designers like me and you design, prototype, and share beautifully crafted apps, websites, and screen experiences of all kinds. Creating an interactive prototype can be really time-consuming in other apps, but I'll show you how quickly I can add this new screen we designed to this flow. It's just a matter of dragging and dropping from any screen to any other, right, or button to any other. And each time I do that, I get this little pop-up window that gives me options for the transition, the animation, the timing. Let's see how it works. There's a few different options to do that. First, XD has this desktop preview built right into the app. This is like having a virtual phone or a tablet at your fingertips. It's a great way to make sure everything's coming together. But you really can't beat seeing it on a real device. And that's why we have terrific companion apps. This is the prototype we just built. When you see it on the device, it really starts to feel real. You see the flow, the interaction, everything is here, including the screen that we just built. Really terrific.
I have this comp here that I've been working on in Illustrator, and I'm really happy with this mood and this theme that I developed for a local organic food company. And what I really want to do is be able to visualize this brand on actual products without needing to have any of this in real life. Typically really difficult to do before Adobe Dimension. Here in Dimension, I have the ability to visualize my idea, my brand on these products without actually having to have any of it in real life and having it all look realistic. So all of these assets that I have here are editable. So I can reposition it, I can reorient it, I can change the lighting, the perspective, the camera, many different aspects, and this is the benefit of working with 3D assets. All the models that we have are editable. I have a pattern that I've designed in Illustrator that I actually want to use. Not a problem. I've actually already dragged this out to CC libraries inside of Illustrator, and now inside of Dimension, I can easily add that pattern onto this object. Go ahead and open the color picker and find this and drag it over here. And there you have it. The next thing I want to do is I want to add a logo. I want to add a logo, and this logo I've already created in Illustrator that you saw. And what I'm going to do is just drag this out, this logo that I've dropped to CC libraries, and drop it directly on the model, and there you have it. Not only is it just placing where I need it to be, I can reposition it, and you can see it wrapping around the geometry nicely. I can also scale, resize. Go ahead, come on, let's hear it. What I want to do is be able to add a photographic background to this. And again, it is the ability to be able to visualize this design, this idea that I have, in context, in reality, without having to have anything in reality yet. We're leveraging Adobe Sensei's machine learning algorithms and automatically detecting the environment light, the sunlight if it's there, as well as the camera perspective. All I need to click is OK here. And not only are we going to automatically find that camera perspective, place those objects on the ground, we're also using the environment light that is of this photograph and wrapping it around the scene.
Adobe Spark, it's an integrated web and mobile solution that makes it easy for everyone to tell their story. Spark Page is for creating responsive web pages that look beautiful on any device. You can see it does a really wonderful job of showing off beautiful photography, has nice scroll effects, beautiful typography, and so forth. Spark Video is for creating video stories perfect for sharing on social media. I'm going to play a video here I created after a recent swim meet as an event recap, just so you can get a flavor of the type of video stories you can create. I'm going to open up that same video that we just saw running in the browser. I'm going to make a quick edit just so we can actually see how easy it is to do these types of experiences. So I'm going to go to this slide here. It's a slide-based UX metaphor instead of a complicated timeline. I'm going to add a video onto this slide. I'm going to tap the plus sign. I'm going to load the video from my device that I captured when I was at the meet. I can use this little playhead to determine where I want the clip to start. I'm going to tap done, and it's going to automatically clip that video and add it to the slide for me. I can go ahead and press play just to kind of get a preview of that particular slide. That last format is Spark Post, perfect for creating social media graphics. We add new templates weekly, so you can help you get started, or I can start from scratch. I'm going to tap that plus button. I'm going to create an inspirational quote post to share on Facebook. I'm going to choose my photo library and choose the image that I want to create a post of. I'll use my daughter. Thank you, Maya, for playing along. We'll choose Facebook, tap done. And I'm going to want this to be a 2-column layout. So I'm going to tap the layout button, scroll over and choose the 2-column grid, and I can resize that to be asymmetrical. Go ahead and change the crop on that. Pretty simple. All right, let's actually put our quote in here. I'm going to get rid of the shape that's behind this, and I'll use my magic align text option and double tap to paste that quote in. If I want to share that to Facebook, I can do that directly from the app by tapping share and choose the Facebook option. If I need to create a version of this that needs to go to Twitter or Instagram or an Instagram story or Pinterest or whatever, if I tap the resize button, you'll see as I tap on the different sizes, Spark Post does all the heavy lifting of reformatting that design for those particular device social media platforms. Pretty cool.
Lightroom really is a complete system. I have access to all of my images wherever I am, and that's a really big part of this system. And of course, I have a lot of different ways of finding what I'm looking for. I don't have any keywords. I've never had any keywords. This is where Adobe Sensei comes in, because searching in Lightroom CC is as simple as just typing in what you're looking for. So I've got well over 100 images in this collection. Let's just search for cat, something fairly simple. And I see all of the cats in this collection, very different cats. Let's give it something a little more challenging. Let's look at horses, plural, more than one horse. Lots of pictures of me and my kids, and my wife, and more than one horse. Let's constrain this to kid. And what do I get back? I get back my boys, Miles and Liam, me as a child, and my goat as well. Technically correct. Well played, Sensei. So let's talk about editing in the new Lightroom CC. Lots of different controls here, tons of power. This could be intimidating to some people. We also have some wonderful presets. And what's great about the presets here is that as I scroll over them, I get a preview and I see the sliders moving, so they're educating me on how Lightroom CC works. Now for this particular image, I'm just going to click one button to adjust the tonality. I'm going to click Auto. And if you notice, it dynamically adjusted the image. It moved a bunch of sliders based upon the content of the image. Did a really nice job. Now this being a RAW file, I can adjust the temperature and the tint really quickly and easily, and it looks wonderful. So I'm really pleased with that image. Those changes will be reflected across any device I look at. Not only are the photos in the cloud, but the settings are as well. Let's move from the desktop. Let's move from this cool new Surface Book 2 over to the iPad Pro. As soon as I launch Lightroom CC here, it's really important to note that not only do I see the images, but I see them just as I left them. I've got some wonderful selective edits here, brush-based edits. And so I'm going to use Apple Pencil to just come in here and ever so lightly scribble over his eyes there. Don't worry, I'm not going to do anything spooky here. Just going to open up the shadows just a tiny bit, and maybe adjust the color while I'm in here. Go away from that warm cast to the cool blue. I don't want to go too Paul Newman there. Somewhere right in between. I'm really pleased with that. Love using Apple Pencil for that.
Well, today we're introducing responsive design-based motion graphics templates. So here I've got a little sequence that I've been working on for something called The Last Horizon. And you'll see I've got a very simple animated graphic here that I want to create as a template. And I always want it to appear in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. So I'm going to select this graphic, go into our Essential Graphics panel, and select my text layer. And what you'll now see is that we have an option for responsive design positioning, where I have the ability to not only pin layers to other layers, but in this case, I can pin the text to a specific point of the video frame, in this case, the bottom right-hand corner. I'm going to right-click here and export this as a motion graphics template. Naturally, I'll save this, give it a name here, to my shared CC library so that anyone that I'm collaborating with will instantly have access to this, so the people who are creating my social media versions of this same video, which are likely to be square or vertical for Instagram or vertical for Snapchat, can do just that and get the same exact experience. So here we go. Let's wind this back. You can see we've got a square aspect ratio. I'll go into my CC libraries. I'll grab the motion graphics template that we just created. I'll drag it down. I'll hit play, and it appears in the bottom right-hand corner exactly where it's supposed to. Responsively. Wouldn't it be amazing if there was some way for you to access professionally, beautifully crafted, designed motion graphics templates? And we're very happy to announce today that in Adobe Stock, you have access to hundreds and hundreds of motion graphics templates in multiple styles, backgrounds, lower thirds, title sequences, pretty much everything you can imagine, created with responsive nature. We have ones that are built specifically in After Effects. We even have a master artist collection created by some of the most well-known and respected motion graphics designers in the industry, including Brian Maffitt, Nick Hill, Valentina V, even Andrew Kramer has lent his brilliance to our collections. We've been doing a lot of work in the 360 VR space, and here we have some content that was shot in Venice in 6K. And one of the most common things people want to do is integrate text and titles and imagery or video inside that 360 immersive environment. This is known as the equirectangular frame. It looks okay, it's not great. But when we go into the viewer, it's really bent and skewed. Something's not right, because this text was never really designed to be projected in this space. For that, we need a specific effect. And as Brian mentioned, with the metal effects now directly integrated in today's update of Premiere Pro and After Effects, rebranded as Immersive, if we go to Immersive and twirl down, the one we are looking for is VR plane to sphere. So let's go ahead and drag this over top of our motion graphics template, and you can see that it automatically looks better. Let's go ahead and scale this up a bit. This will act like a Z-depth control, something like that. And then we're going to twirl down the rotate projection, because what if I want to actually reorient that text along the side of the wall here? Let's go ahead and drag the Y-axis here, just like that. And I'm going to go ahead and hit play. And all of these effects are now GPU accelerated, which means that you can get incredible real-time performance, even in 6K, there's some creepy clowns right there, with all of this stuff happening simultaneously. Today in Premiere Pro, via an Oculus Rift or an HTC Vive, your editors can put on that headset and they can get inside that immersive environment and they can actually navigate Premiere Pro's sequence, the timeline, and experience that immersive feeling of being inside the sphere and really have that full VR 360 with spatial ambisonic audio experience before they publish, before they go to YouTube and Facebook. And these are just some of the incredible innovations coming to today's updates of the video and audio products. Motion graphics templates in Adobe Stock!